Dr. Sister Shiny George, Dr. Alfonso, sisters who are present, the faculty members, my dear students. I'm extremely happy to be here today. I love education institutions. I believe in classrooms. I sat in classrooms for a long time. How many years? 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus, that is 10th standard, plus 2, 3 years degree, 15, PG 2 years, 17, and another 2 or 3 years when you do PhD and all that coursework. How much, Alfonso? 20 years. I've been in a classroom. I love it. But those days, when I was sitting in the classrooms, I used to feel, oh, I'm in the classroom. But now, that was a glorious time. Now you may not understand. But I can assure you, after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you will also feel that classroom was the most glorious thing. And when you feel that after 10 years or 15 years, remember me. I told you. You may not realize today. I tell you this because, one, of course, I've experienced it for a long time. As I told you, nearly 20 years I was in classrooms. And I also had a chance for a very brief time, maybe I think 2 years, to teach. So, Alfonso, add those 2 years also as a classroom experience. 22 years. Not a small thing. It's almost a generation time. You know, sister, what happened was, when I just finished my MA, I was doing my MPhil, my research. One of our professors went on a long leave. So one day the dean called me and said, Prabhakar, that professor had gone on leave for 1 year. Why don't you teach that course? I was a student. But my dean mistook me for a bright guy, which I wasn't. But when an opportunity came, so I taught. And students who were just 1 year junior to me, they became my students. See? Luck, that is luck. So I have almost 22 years of classroom experience, either as a student or as a researcher or even as a teacher. So I can tell you with authority that classroom is glorious. You know, I come from a political family. My father was a freedom fighter. My grandfather was a freedom fighter. My uncles were freedom fighters. They were all active in politics. My father was an MLA, and then a minister. Then my mother was an MLA. And all their friends and colleagues, they held very high positions in government. Well, I remember them not for their positions of power, but for the sacrifice that they made. They went to jail, they were underground, they were fighting the British rule, all that. Of course, after that, they also became very responsible for running the country, running the state, and their friends. Some of them have become chief ministers and central ministers and Rashtrapati, Pradhana Mantri, and governors and things like that. And my father liked me a lot, so I also liked him a lot. He is no more. He used to take me along. And when he was an MLA, I also had this fancy of seeing what would happen in assembly. So I used to sit in the gallery and look at what's happening, then parliament, then, prime minister. Because a close friend of his has become prime minister of India. And another close friend of his has become president of India also. And some of them were governors, like, P.V. Narasimha Rao was his close friend and he became prime minister. Neelam Sanjeev Reddy before that, he was also a friend of my father and he became president of India, and many governors. So I used to go to, assembly, parliament, went to prime minister's office, prime minister's residence, Rashtrapati Bhavan, president's office, and governor's office, Raj Bhavan, and all that kind of a thing. And sister, I used to, wherever I went, not when I was a very small kid, but after I grew up a bit, I used to think, what exactly is happening here? Is nation building happening here? In parliament, in assembly, in Rashtrapati Bhavan, in Governor Bungalow, in Lok Sabha, in Rajya Sabha, in the secretariat, in the ministers' offices. I did not find. Nation building was not happening there at all. But I can tell you for sure where nation building happens and is happening, has happened. That is the classroom. Classroom is the only place where nation building happens. Nowhere else. I can tell you that. If all of you are healthy, very healthy, completely disease free, this Holy Cross is full of healthy kids, then what do you call that? A healthy college. If all of you in this country are healthy, what is that called? A healthy country. If all of you in this country are intelligent, what is it called? Isn't it? If everybody in this country is strong, then? If everybody in this country is wealthy, it's a wealthy country. If everybody in this country is friendly, this country is. If everybody in this country is well-mannered, then well-mannered country. So what is the secret behind nation building? What is it? You have to be intelligent, strong, healthy, wealthy, well-mannered, peaceful. Then you will make a healthy country, a strong country, an intelligent country, a well-mannered country, a peaceful country, isn't it? That is the simple trick to make a country, to build a country. Of course, there are many challenges. It's not simple, but the solution is simple. There's so many challenges to this. There are so many people who won't let you be peaceful, who won't let you be friendly, who won't let you be strong, who won't let you be wealthy. There's so many people, so many forces. So you need to be cautious about that. That's another trick. You need to identify what is it that distracts you from this. Isn't it? And do what? Be careful. Then if somebody says that you're good for nothing, then you have to tell them no. Yeah, you're good. Then if somebody says that you're weak, then you have to show them that you are not weak. You're strong. If somebody says that, you're a poor country, you have to tell them, look, we may be poor today, but we will be a wealthy country soon. We're working on it. We will work on it and show you how we can do it. So the point is that we need to clearly understand where we are, where we want to go, what is the path, and stick to it. Don't let anyone distract you. This is something which is important. And what are the things that can distract us? Many things. And we have seen a lot of distractions in our history. Today also we see a lot of distractions. People tell us that only some people own this country. Others have no place in this country. Do you hear that? You do? Some people say it very openly. Some people don't say it openly. They mean it. How many of you love Malayalam language? All of you. Why? I love Telugu. Why? My language. I think my language is great. But Alfonso, do you think my language is bad? Should you? You shouldn't, need not. Your language is great. My language is also great. Then we don't have to quarrel. I speak in my language. I think it's a great language. At the same time, I think you're great. Your language is also great. Telugu is great. Malayalam is great. But if I come and tell you, look, Malayalam is nothing. Telugu is great. You also speak Telugu. You learn Telugu. What will you say? Who are you? Get out. Isn't it? Then we quarrel. Then I say, no, you listen to me. So that's a distraction. If somebody comes and says that my religion is great, your religion is nothing. You worship my God. Don't worship your God. Your God is nothing. What God you have? Only one God, my God. That's not the way. If I say, look, you must wear my kind of a dress. What is that dress? Leave it. Wear my kind of a dress. Accept it. You don't accept it, I'll put you behind bars. I won't let you. That's another distraction. Don't eat what you're eating. Eat what I eat. That's another distraction. Don't listen to that music, only this music. I like Telugu. I like Andhra Pradesh. Why? I was born there. I don't remember having made a choice. Did you? Did you make a choice to be born in Kerala? In a Malayali mother's womb? Did you? I didn't. So it is not a choice. It is an accident of birth. Do I deserve? Just because I was born in a particular mother's womb, to treat you as an inferior? Do I? Do I, just because I happen to be born in a mother's womb in this particular country or that particular country or this particular caste or that particular caste or this religion or that religion, that region or this region, do I have a claim to make others subordinate to me? Do I? No. Really? Honestly, tell me. You don't? Parakala. Say something. No problem. But there are people who think, don't they? There are. Not very long ago, there are girls in this room. Not very long ago, girls were not encouraged or even allowed to study. Why do you need? Go and cook. You should learn cooking, first of all. Am I right? You know, when India became independent, what was our rate of literacy? Overall country? Anybody has an idea? 12%, roughly. Of which female literacy was about 8%. That's a fact. And not only girls, a lot of people, on the basis of their birth, were not given access to education. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of that? Or you thought that, forever there was Swiggy and Zomato? No. Are you aware of that? There was no internet. There was no mail. There was no WhatsApp. There was no education for girls and for people who were born in some castes. Are you aware of that? No. Tell me, no problem. We are only us, nobody else is here. Just say, you're aware or you're not aware? You're aware. But you don't remember. When I say, yeah, you're aware, isn't it? But you should keep it in mind. Why I say this is, past was not always great. Get my point? Don't believe if somebody comes and says, olden days were so great. They were not. Because there was inequality, discrimination, oppression, untouchability, inhuman treatment of people, of humans, by another human, on the basis of birth. As I said, we didn't plan. You didn't plan. I didn't plan. I didn't choose. You didn't choose. And there are people, there were people, there still are people who don't agree that these are as a result of accident of birth. Do you know them? When I say I didn't choose to be born in a particular mother's womb, you know what they say? But you don't know. Because of your Purva Janma karma, you've done great things in your last birth, so you're born in this, in this, in this, in this. What nonsense. There is an attempt to justify inequality. Isn't it? They don't want that to be subjected to scrutiny, critical scrutiny. No, God decided that some people were born out of the mouth of the God. Do you know? Some people were born from the Bahu. Some people were born from the thighs. Some people were born from the feet. Have you heard this? So, there is a superior person. Next a little, next a little. Ah. Oh, not long ago, people were not allowed to walk on some streets. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? You? No. But listen to me. It wasn't. Not everybody was allowed to walk on every street. Why? Because of their birth. Am I saying too heavy things? But important. Sometimes a little heavy things also. Not always fun. Okay? Heavy things. Because you're grown-ups now. You have to understand these things. Some people were not allowed to walk on some streets. Some people were not allowed to walk on the streets around a temple, leave alone entering a temple. Do you know that? And those who were allowed into the temple, they were categories. Like cinema theatre, But here, the nearness is cheap to the screen. But when it comes to God, nearness is a privilege, isn't it? So, if you're born in that caste, you can go up to 20 feet. If you're born in this caste, you can go up to 18 feet, 16, 15, 4. And some people can go near. Some people can even touch. Isn't it? So that was past. Some people want us to go back to that. You want? No? Great. Golden times. Swarna Yugam. Everything was peaceful. People were wonderful. There was no trouble. No law and order problems. People listened to elders. Nobody questioned. There was order in the society. Peace in the society. Villages were beautiful. Nonsense. Isn't it? There was order because anybody who questioned it was thrashed, was beaten, was killed, punished, jailed. That's why people kept quiet. But that's not peace. Quietness without fairness is not peace. they were not questioned because they were afraid. Got it? Do you understand what I mean? Anybody who said, how, why? Why shouldn't I walk? Why shouldn't I teach? Why shouldn't I learn? Why shouldn't I come into the class? Why shouldn't I recite this? Why shouldn't I chant that? Why shouldn't I worship here? I said, no. Behave well. Next Janma you can do something better. We don't know. So that was what is marketed today as a glorious past. I want to tell you, don't get fooled by that. That is not nation building. Nation building is when everybody in our society, in our country, are given equal respect, equal opportunity. Am I making sense? Am I being fair? Am I fair? Yeah. But if I come and tell you that, look, you have to accept that for whatever reason you're inferior. Accept it. You will say, who are you to tell me that, isn't it? But if I tell you, the past used to be so nice, it used to be great. Then you say, past was great. It depends on how it is marketed. So don't fall into the trap of marketing. As educated people, as students, with critical thinking, critical faculty, try to examine, try to understand. Don't fall for the marketing strategies. That's important. They can give any names. They can say, golden age. They can say Sanatana Dharma. Oh, wonderful. They say long ago Dharma was walking on 4 legs. All the 4 legs. Then one leg it started limping. Then 2 legs. Now it is only on 1 leg, it seems. So let's go back to all the 4. All the 4 means what? Some people don't come into this, some people stand there, some people stand there, some people don't walk there. Is that the one? Then if I market that as Dharma walking on 4 legs, isn't it ridiculous? It is to me ridiculous. I don't know whether you find it ridiculous or not. Think about it. Am I wrong? Wrong? No? Good. Thank you. So, and what is the way to build a nation? By denying majority of the people dignity? Is that nation building? No? It is? It's not. At least not in my books, not in my understanding. Nation building can happen only if we are equal, see ourselves as equals, treat everybody else as equal. Then nation building happens. The other day, a friend of mine sent that when you have a disease, if you chant this shloka, your disease is cured. That's what's very wonderful Swamiji was saying this. And the Swamiji also said, all these diseases, our people, our rishis, they knew how to cure. Just by, chanting the sound vibrations, they cure. Much later, everybody, they are giving injections, tablets and all that. No, we did all that. They were in these books, that book and this book and all that. Isn't it very interesting? Attractive? Oh, our people are so great. They have, just by listening to a sound, chanting a sound, you can cure cancer, headache, fever, and all that. Well, it is one thing to examine whether that particular sound has any effect on the body or not. That is the scientific thing. It can be examined these days. Maybe. You don't know. I'm not closing that option at all. Closing an option is unscientific. You need to, examine it. But along with the examining of whether that can really cure, that's one aspect of it. The social aspect of it, who are allowed to chant that, who are allowed to learn that, who are allowed to learn a language, who are allowed to, touch a scripture, who are allowed to at least listen to it. That's also important, isn't it? While not disputing the power or no power of a particular thing, but is it accessible to me? Isn't it? What is the point if a huge medical discovery, some pill, is invented? If you take that pill, you will live forever. You will be youthful forever. You don't age. You don't have any diseases. Suppose there is something like that. Imagine there is something like that. But only 5 people can have that. Then, is it fair? It's not. So while not disputing the existence of something which is so great, but if it is not available to you and me because of our birth, then there's something wrong there. You can't build a nation on that basis, isn't it? So in order to build a strong India, you need to have an egalitarian India. An India which is wedded to equality. An India which is not discriminatory. An India which is not hierarchical, which gives opportunities, which doesn't impose restrictions on people for learning, for worshipping, for living their lives, for doing the way they want. They are used to doing things. For being the way they are, diverse. Everybody need not be like me. Everybody need not speak my language, follow my own religion, follow my customs. Only then a diverse, vibrant, tolerant country, people can be a strong nation. That is how one builds a nation step by step. Not by creating wealth which is not available to a lot of people. Wealth or knowledge. As I said, maybe there's a huge knowledge. Who is saying? Somebody says that, we knew zero much before everybody knew. We invented zero. We invented this. We invented mathematics. We invented that. We knew, that, the planets went around much before those fellows knew. So what? Who knew? Did you tell me? Did you allow me to know about it? Did you allow me to learn about it? Did you allow me to sit in the classroom? No, you didn't. So what's the point? If you don't allow, if you knew all those things, we had planes, we had rockets, we had this, we had that. Why are you like this now? When you had so many things. When you had so much gold, when you had so much science, when you had rocket science, when you had wonderful weapons, with an arrow, you could slay hundreds and thousands of people in armies. If that is the case, when Alexander came, you didn't do anything. When Babur came, you didn't do anything. When British came, you didn't do anything. Dutch came, you didn't do anything. You couldn't do anything. You ran away. You were defeated. Why? Because you didn't have anything. You're just, who tries to boast? Who tries to boast? Do you know who tries to boast? Alfonso. Who tries to boast? I'm great. I'm so great. I know everything. You should say that I know a lot of things. Should I say? If I'm saying, which means I don't know, I just want to, I have an inferiority complex, that's all. Only people with inferiority complex go on telling that, I was so great, but I didn't use these things. Why should you use these things? So let us not be self-delusionary. That does not make a strong nation. A strong nation is a nation that is having an open mind, is able to recognize the shortcomings, acknowledge the challenges, adopt the best practices from everywhere in the world without feeling shy about it, and make progress, go forward. But if somebody tries to say, I knew everything, my society knew everything, we knew rockets, we had aeroplanes long ago. Ravana used aeroplanes. You know? You don't know. They used aeroplanes. They closed their eyes and measured what's the distance between sun and moon. Do you know? You don't know. You didn't hear about this. Nobody told you. You don't use WhatsApp? Okay. So, point I'm making is, you can't build a nation if you delude yourselves. And, we had a G20 summit recently. Why did we have G20? The reason, I tell you what. The entire world, America, Britain, Japan, Germany, France, China, they have no clue of what to do with themselves. They have no idea. They all came with folded hands and said, India, please lead us and tell us what to do, how to go about. And that's, we assumed that leadership of the world. We are leaders of the world. Of course, now Brazil is leading, all right. But Brazil is leading. Nobody went to Brazil. They all came to us. They said, yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And we gave them jnana. We told them, you see, we always treated the entire world as our own family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. But did we? My neighbor is not part of my kutumbam. I told this fellow, you go and live outside the village. Don't enter the village. But we are entire world is one family. It's so great. But not this fellow. I don't mind. I don't mind a lot of people, but I don't even touch him. I won't eat anything that he touches or cooks. No. And I don't allow him to, say even namaskaram from the road. No. Don't come onto this street. But we're so great. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Entire world is my own family. You see the contradiction? Can you build a nation? You can't build a nation. At least I can't see how this mentality can build a nation. Do you agree? Yeah? You don't have to tell me because I'm here. But think about it. So the way a nation is built is not gloating over our past imagined greatness. No, that's not the way. The way is what is happening in our own society. What are the things that are stopping us? What are the obstacles? How do we overcome them? Suppose there is a machine that measures your strength, the grip strength. There are some machines, isn't it? Some instruments. I'm weak, but I want to show you that I'm strong. What I do, I can't really make that needle go to 10, from 10 to 15. With this thing, what do? I have a way of doing. I can impress you. I manipulate that. And see, saying this because, we are told continuously that we are the fastest growing economy in the world. We are the fifth largest economy. Very soon we'll be second, third, first. Maybe, this is what we are told. Some time ago, you have these highways. 4-lane highway of 1 kilometer was 1 kilometer of 4 ways, 4 lanes. Today, 1 kilometer of 4-lane highways is 4 kilometers. See, a lot of progress. The point is that if you lie to ourselves and lie to the world, are we building a nation? We're not building a nation. In order to build a nation, we have to be truthful to ourselves. First of all. But, if you go on lying to everybody and believe in those lies ourselves and think that, we have laid 4 kilometers of roads instead of 1 kilometer 4-lane, then we are where we are. And the world is moving very fast. Instead of vaccination, if you tell me, okay, till the vaccination comes, you make sounds with your plates. Or, you light a lamp at 9 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, you light a lamp for 8 minutes. On the 8th, 8 minutes, 8, it's gone. Then people are dying. Oh, people are dying because, you see, they must have done, some papam. You build a nation. Don't think that I'm political. Huh? I'm not. Do you agree with me, Alfonso? No. You don't agree? You agree with that? No. You don't agree? Yeah. See? We are on the same thing. Yeah. I had a shock. I thought you're disagreeing with me. Okay, fine. You see? So, there is a difference. If you believe that inequality cannot build a nation and work towards eradicating inequality and fail, not successful, not able to really eradicate, I think that is less of an offense than believing inequality is good. Do you understand? Did I make it too complicated? See, there is a set of people who are, I'm trying to reduce inequality, but I was not able to. Compare me with somebody who believes in inequality. Who is better? I trying and failing, but they know inequality is good. This fellow is from the feet, that fellow is from the mouth. Is that good? No. To me it's not. Accepting inequality as a virtue is worse than trying to eradicate inequality but failing. Because, we don't succeed all at once. So, nation building happens if you try. May not be successful today. Maybe tomorrow you will be successful. We don't know. But keep on trying. That is how nation building happens. But if you say that, look, inequality is good, it's peaceful. That's not nation building. Thank you.
Sir, my name is Abin. Sir, India's unemployment among youth are high. Is it because of we are not using the youth potential, and why there is high migration rate in India?
You know, some time ago, we heard this term demographic dividend. Have you heard of the term? A lot. You know, India is a youthful country, young country, old nation but young country, so many young people, all that kind of a thing. Yes. And today, India's youth unemployment is one of the highest in the world. We are in the company of Lebanon, Syria, Iran, countries and economies which were shattered by war, that kind of a thing. Civil war. And our small neighbor, Bangladesh, has youth unemployment rate of 12%, whereas our youth unemployment rate is 24%. Abid. That's a crisis. If you want to know what is a crisis, any situation like that is a crisis. I'll give you another example. Some time ago, I don't know how many of you have read this in the newspapers. Some time ago, just 1 year ago, 2022, beginning of 2022, there was massive rioting and unrest among youth in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and those areas. That is in the context of railway recruitment. Do you remember that? You're not. You didn't even see that news. What I suggest is that you may not really, want to read newspapers, buy a newspaper and read a newspaper. But sometimes when you buy something, that is wrapped in a small bit of newspaper. Just try and read. Sometimes, you might find very interesting things in that small paper also. Will you? Yes. There were 35,000 jobs announced. Recruitment. You know how many people applied for that job? For 35,000. 1 crore 25 lakhs. People applied for just 35,000 jobs. That, Abid, is the seriousness of this. I contend that India's youth is not only unemployed, but a lot of them are unemployable. They have no skills. Any number of studies conducted in India show that at least 40, 45, 50, 55 in various categories of, people who studied in BCom, BA, B Pharma, engineering, etc., have no skills. Skill training in any modern economy, which is doing well, like South Korea, like Singapore, like Japan, China, leave the developed world. But these countries were poor and unskilled even 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Their skill rate, training, any potential worker, %85 of their workforce is trained. 90% of their workforce is trained. 95% of their workforce is trained. You know what is the training and skilling in India? 8%. That's the crisis. Unless you train people, give them skills, and update their skills from time to time. See, days like, for us, we came out to the college, we found a job, and we retired. That's it. But today it's not possible. At least in somebody's working life, 6 times they have to undergo training and updating of skills. Only then can they be meaningful contributors to the economy. Otherwise it's not possible. That is missing. That has to be brought into the curriculum, the skill. We have slogans: Skill India, Stand Up India, Khelo India, Make in India, all that. But it's not happening. What is happening is Shut Up India. That is the tragedy.
Hello, my name is Aman PK. My question is that why aren't certain jobs or certain educational qualifications, which some aren't at all given focus by the government? Like, for example, some people might have interest in arts, some people might have interest in something else which isn't about medical or lawyering or engineering. So to be honest, many of the students sitting here might not have a successful future in the subject they are studying. So many of them might change their subjects when they go to MA and they do their PGs. So that's my question.
From the classroom, normally students, they very much hesitate to ask a question for various reasons. One reason is, can I stand up and ask the question properly? If I don't ask it properly, other people might laugh. That's one. The second reason why don't many people, I'm sure everybody in the hall has one question or the other. But we hesitate to ask a question. What will they think if I make a mistake? If my English is not right, if my grammar is not right? Instead of saying is, if I say are, people might laugh. Or people might think, what sort of a question is this? Is this the question to ask? What kind of a question needs to be asked? Maybe this is not an important question. Why should I ask if it is not important? People might think, he doesn't know even that much, he's asking. So many people have these kind of doubts and don't ask questions. What I suggest to all of you, may not be now, but generally, as you go along, just don't feel inhibited in asking questions. Just ask. Nothing wrong. Skies won't fall, if you don't ask the right question. If you don't ask the question correctly, nothing will happen. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm sure Sister Shiny will mind, or Alfonso would mind, or other people would mind, your teachers would mind. Nobody will mind. You got my point? Think about this. Next time when somebody comes, ask. Ask in Malayalam. Somebody will translate. If you are not confident about English, it's fine, no problem. But ask. Asking a question is not just because you're ignorant of it, not because you're trying to learn something from a guy who comes like me. No, I'm as ignorant as you are. Just I happen to be sitting here. That's all. Maybe I have, I was born a little before you were born. That's all. Don't hesitate. Just ask. asking is also discussion. Asking is not just, I don't know anything, you please give me, you are a Vishwaguru, you have to tell me. No. Asking is a way of continuing the discussion. Nothing wrong in asking the question. I've been saying that we have had a very hierarchical kind of a society structure where manual labor was looked down upon because it was performed by people who were not born from the mouth and born from the shoulders and all that. So that is the reason why we look down upon some professions, and everybody wants to be taking up a higher kind of a thing. Even every society in the world has undergone in some form or the other the same kind of a process. I don't know how many of you are aware that surgery used to be performed, was looked down upon even in the Western civilization. Do you know? Surgery. And surgeries were performed by barbers, because they were the knife-wielding people. So the doctor would go and make a barber cut the body, and he would say, cut it here, cut it there. He wouldn't touch. This happened. And if that happened in the Western society, imagine, we didn't even want to touch a dead body. Till then, she was your mother, he was your father, grandfather, guru and all that. But once it's a body, you don't touch it. That is the reason why certain professions were looked down upon. And that, in some way or the other, still has a power over our mind. Therefore, this profession, no, that profession, no. It should be, everybody should be an engineer, everybody should be a doctor, a professor, that kind of a thing. So, certain professions were looked down upon, therefore discouraged. I think slowly we should get over that. If you get over that, then everybody has, if you get over that, you can get over that by respecting every work, every kind of work. If you start respecting every kind of work, that means that you start respecting every individual, whatever may be the background. So that implies dignity of labor, dignity of person. A lift operator should be able to call President George Bush, hi George, isn't it? Can you dare calling that kind of a thing in India? Is it possible? You have to, whether you have that kind of a respect in mind or not, but you have to show it in the body. What nonsense is that? Why can't you, stand straight in front of the president of the country and say, hi, how are you? You have to break those stereotypes. Then all courses are equal. All professions are respectable.
It's about a statement claimed by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. He says that the West Europe was poor before they colonized India. And when India was contributing 24% to the global GDP. He claims this on the basis of the book titled as The World Economy Historical Statistics from Table 8. In the same book, it says that on the basis of population, the West Europe contributed 22% to the global GDP when they had 13% of population share. but India had 27 population, but India only contributed 24 percentage. So, does this prove wrong the statement Shashi Tharoor made that Europe was poor and India was rich in those days? And one more thing, for strengthening my claim, the same book Shashi Tharoor studies, the World Economy Historical Statistics, also says that in the 17th century, India's per capita income was just $550. Also, in Europe, it was $998 per capita income. Also, in the revised version of the same book, it is $1,200. That means West Europe per capita income was three times richer than India's. So does this again prove wrong that Shashi Tharoor's statement Europe was poor and India was richer than Europe before the arrival of British in India?
I think I don't have much time. I'll try to be as short as possible. But there is a lot to be said on this point. But I'll have to be very brief. I have to go. You see, it feels nice to know that India was very rich and Europeans were very poor. It feels nice. And it is not untrue. The point is this: what happened to a rich country and why it became poor? All the wealth was robbed by the West. That's another explanation. Why was it robbed? How was it robbed? Why did you allow that to be robbed? You are generous? Please come, we are rich, you can rob it. Did you say that? No. You were defeated. You did not even fight. You could not fight. That's one explanation. Therefore, if you understand the reasons, it doesn't make you feel good. But it makes you feel good by thinking that we were so rich once upon a time. They were walking naked. They didn't even have clothes. When they didn't have clothes, we had silk. Doesn't it make very good? Doesn't it make you feel nice? I'll tell you what. The Rajas and the Nawabs, when the Western traders came seeking permission for trading, when they landed in Surat, when they landed here in 1498, Vasco da Gama came, and when people came to Surat and all that, Mughal Empire was there, and all the Nawabs were there. They used to go and say, give them little presents and, cultivate them and make them happy so that, permission was given to trade, bring some things and, take some things from here and all that. These Western traders were looked down upon by the Rajas, and the Rajas and the courts of these Rajas, they used to say, listen, Leon, these fellows who came from those Western countries, they have still not learned to wash their bottoms. That's how they used to refer. If you read they used to look down upon. Then what happened? The technology, advances in medicine, in everything, in machinery, in production, goods, services, banking, physics, chemistry, medicine, everything. What happened? And if you want to go into it, when the entire world income was 100 rupees, and India was producing 25 rupees out of that. The rest of the world, entire world put together, is doing only 75. And when you stagnate and the pie becomes larger, from 100 rupees, the world economy grows to 1000 rupees. But you remain 25 rupees. Then what happens? You shrink because the pie gets bigger. So your percentage declines. Whether you decline or not, even if you are where you were, you are still declining, isn't it? India did not realize, the rulers of India did not realize, the Rajas of India did not realize that the world was catching up, it was growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and proportionately our share is shrinking. You have to look at it that way. Shashi Tharoor, is a great man, but you have to look into it. Just don't stop where it makes you feel good. That's not enough. That's not how we build a nation. We have to see to it that our pie grows. Instead of 100 rupees, our GDP should be 200 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. Where are we? You are talking about an economy which is $19 trillion, the Chinese economy, and we are less than $3,000 trillion, and you can't, say that I'm greater than China. I'm not even talking about the $23, $24 trillion US economy. That's much later. So, instead of feeling good about how great we were, that's what I've been saying for a long time, since I came here into this room, that instead of feeling good about how great we were then, when the British came, when they were all, had no clothes to wear and we had silks, doesn't make any difference at all.